Hello there. How are all my little lima beans today? I hope you're doing well. Yesterday we left off talking about order of operations, and I gave you these 6 problems to work on. And I told you that today we would go over them. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to just jump right into it and we're going to go over them. I'm not going to go too slowly because you were supposed to work on these individually. But if you need to slow me down because you want to make corrections as you're doing it, then that's okay. Just pause and then just start playing again when you're ready. Okay? So for number 1, we have 7 times 5 plus 3. Order of operations says to do parentheses first. I do not have any parentheses. Exponents next. No exponents. Multiply and divide. I do have multiplication here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. 7 times 5 is 35. Bring everything else down. And 35 plus 3 is 38. So 38 is my answer. Notice I put a square around it. You can circle it, put a square around it, but definitely show me that you know that that is the answer right there. Okay, next problem. Number 2, 28 minus 20 divided by 4. Well, order of operations says parentheses first, so I'm going to do what's in the parentheses first. And 28 minus 20 gives me 8. And then I'm going to bring everything else down. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Okay, hopefully you've given yourself a check and a check. All right, number 3. I have 6 plus 2 to the 4th power minus 1. Okay, so order of operations says parentheses first. No parentheses. Exponents next. I do have exponents. So I have to figure out what is 2 to the 4th power first. That's my first job. Remember, 2 to the 4th power is the same thing as saying 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Right? So I need to do it with 4 2's. So 2 times 2 is 4. Times 2 is 8. Times 2 is 16. So I write 16 and I bring everything else down. Now I have no multiplying and no dividing, so I skip to adding and subtracting. Remember, I work from left to right. So 6 plus 16 is 22. Bring everything else down. 22 minus 1 is 21. All right, next one. 4 times 3 squared plus 18 minus 9. No parentheses. I've got 3 squared. So remember, 3 squared is the same thing as saying 3 times 3. 2 3's, right? Okay, so 3 times 3 is 9. And I bring everything else down. Remember that dot means to multiply. Okay, so now I go to my next line, multiply and divide from left to right. 4 times 9 is 36, and I bring everything else down. Now, next line is add and subtract from left to right. I've got 36 plus 18. That is 54 minus 9. And last step, 54 minus 9 is 45. Okay. All right, number 6. 16 plus 5 squared minus 7 divided by 3. Whew, that was a mouthful. Okay. the first thing I got to do is look at my order of operations. Remember, parentheses comes first. So do I have parentheses? I do. So that means I have to do whatever's in the parentheses first. But I can't just subtract 7 from 5 squared. First, exponents comes before subtraction. So once I'm in the parentheses, I still have to follow order of operations, okay? So in the parentheses, order of operations says I need to do 5 times 5 because 5 squared is 5 times 5. So that's going to be 25 minus 7, and I bring everything else down. Okay, now I finish up in the parentheses. 25 minus 7 is going to be 18. And I bring everything else down. Now I have to do multiply and divide from left to right. So 18 divided by 3 is 6. And bring everything else down. And 16 plus 6 is 22. There's my answer. Okay, guys, last one. This is one that some people tend to get a little bit stuck on. So let's see if you did this. Let's see if you made it through this one. All right, 3 plus 5 squared divided by 4 plus 19. Okay, well, order of operations says to do the parentheses first. So inside the parentheses, I have 3 plus 5. That's 8. And I need to bring everything else down. Okay, so the next step is exponents. And we see we have an exponent there. The exponent is attached to whatever is in the parentheses, okay? So 8 squared. 8 squared is the same thing as saying 8 times 8, okay? So 8 times 8 is 64. Divided by 4 plus 19 because I bring everything else down. Okay, next. Multiply and divide from left to right. I have 64 divided by 4. 64 divided by 4 gives me 16. Bring everything else down. And finally, our last step, easy peasy, 16 plus 19 gives me 35. Put a square around it. Okay, so that's not all I have for you today, though. I do want to show you a little bit of a different kind of problem. So this next kind of problem is an order of operations with a division as a fraction problem. Okay, so remember we talked about division as a fraction the other day. Number 7 in our practice. These go in your notes, okay? So this is following number 6 on your notebook paper. If you still have space below, go ahead. If not, turn the page. Number 7. You're going to copy these just the way I have them. All right, number 8. And then we got number 9. Okay, so if you need to pause so that you can finish writing those down, that's okay. Go ahead and pause, and we're going to start working these out. Okay, so When you see a problem like this, what you need to remember is that that fraction just means divide. Okay, so this is a fraction, a division problem written like a fraction. Okay, because division is a fraction. Fractions are division. That's just the way it is. Okay, so when you see these type of problems, what you need to do is remember to work with the numerator and then work with the denominator. Okay, so you do everything that's on the top, the numerator, and then you do everything that's on the bottom, the denominator, and then you divide. Okay, so sorry, I don't know why my phone always decides to buzz and ring when I'm doing a video. Okay, so let's look at number 7. We have to do everything on top. So we're going to do all of this up top here first, okay? So 2 squared. 2 squared means the same thing as 2 times 2, okay? So 2 times 2 is 4. And I can choose to do this one of two ways. I could do it like this, or I could write it down here now. 4 plus 1 divided by 5. Okay, so now this right here, 4 plus 1, I just follow my order of operations, right? Parentheses. So this becomes 5 over 5. Now I have to remember the last step is to divide, okay? So I have to divide 5 into 5, and my answer will be 1. Easy, right? Told you. Okay, number 2, or number 8. All right, we're going to work with the numerator first. Remember, order of operations is to do the parentheses first. So 3 plus 1 is, cross it out, change it to a 4. Okay? Now order of operations says to do the multiplication. 2 times 4 is 8. Now I bring everything else over to it. Ready? 8 divided by 8 equals 1. That's kind of silly. Okay, last one. Once again, order of operations. Working on the numerator first. 10 squared, because exponents comes before division, right? So exponents, 10 squared. That means 10 times 10. So 10 times 10 becomes 100. 100 divided by 4, hopefully you guys all know this, 25. All right, now I need to do the denominator, and the denominator says 3 plus 2, and that should hopefully bring you to 5. And then remember, you are not done until you actually divide. So you have to divide 5 into 25. You divide the denominator into the numerator. So 5 into 25 gives you 5. There you go. Okay, so today in your practice assignment, you are going to have lots of problems that include division written as fractions. Remember, order of operations, use your notes, use my videos. They're all there to help you, okay?